We are very happy to be here for the live launch of the CQ platform. Thank you for coming. Woo. It's been a long while in the making, and it's been through all the support of people like you that have really helped make this happen.
Hello from the CQ team at the Arctic Ider Society. This time last year, we formally launched CQ at ArcticNet in Halifax to an amazing audience and response. And we're really excited to share the progress on how CQ has been used since then. Since the launch, CQ has been featured in broad press coverage around the world. And most importantly, our usership across Inuit Nunagat has grown substantially to over 5,000 users. There are now more than 7,500 posts on CQ sharing trips, wildlife observations, hunting stories, dangerous ice posts, and a lot of content in social posts. I'm going to give you a little background on CQ in case you aren't familiar with it. Inuit have always been good at adapting, and today we are using technology and Inuit Qauimajutuqangit to address climate change and promote safer hunting and traveling. CQ is helping Inuit document and mobilize Inuit knowledge and observations of wildlife, plant and sea ice conditions to share with their community, contribute to community-driven research, and track climate change from an Inuit perspective. Too often, Inuit knowledge has been written off as anecdotal by scientists in the community. And with CQ, we are finally able to show the data that has always been part of our knowledge systems and mobilize it for our own benefit. And most importantly, CQ mobilizes Indigenous environmental terminology, allowing Inuit to use our own language and ice classification systems to systematically document changing and dangerous conditions. More than just words, some of them are most at risk of being lost to the next generation. These terms are the foundation to key concepts of Inuit Qauimajutuqangit. By making them accessible through simple tags and wiki profiles on CQ, youth and hunters could document their observations using our own knowledge. CQ is awesome because it was created by and for Inuit. It also includes a whole bunch of tools and services, including up-to-date satellite imagery, local weather services, and GPS tracking trips to support travel safety and knowledge transfer. Users can create and share geolocated posts about wildlife and ice conditions displayed on an interactive map and share with their community. And most importantly, users retain and have full control over their knowledge through a simple interface where privacy and location settings can be changed on a post-by-post basis. It mobilizes Inuit terminology, allowing Inuit to use our own knowledge systems to systematically document climate change and contribute to environmental stewardship. CQ was refined through workshops across Inuit Nunagat, with Inuit youth playing the leading role. The input from these workshops has made CQ into what it is today. We are still working on CQ, so please feel free to join our workshops or reach out with your ideas to make it better for Inuit too. Once the pandemic started, we were no longer able to do in-person workshops, but we adapted quickly by developing training videos to put on social media and to host training sessions online. CQ is a key tool to allow Inuit to continue to do environmental monitoring and research when researchers weren't able to visit the North. It turns out that investing in Inuit self-determination is paying off. And projects that were community-driven were the ones that were resilient and in many cases supported community jobs and food security during the pandemic. We also made a series of online lessons for stay-at-home schoolers to leverage the CQ platform, which you can find here.
Through CQ's customizable tools for research, wildlife, and ice monitoring, Arctic Ider Society has been able to support community-driven monitoring programs across Inuit Nunagat. We've partnered with Nunatsiavut government to support ice and invasive species monitoring across the region using CQ. In Ahviat, we are working with young hunters programs such as Akyu Mavik. And in Nunavik, we are starting up training in communities in support of environmental monitoring and ice safety. And in Pond Inlet, we worked with Stephen Lonsdale from the Higaktani Inuit Association to train hunters to document wildlife observations, harvesting activities, and land use activities as part of a Guardians pilot program. The project was highly successful in showing their collective efforts between March and November and how CQ can play a key role in supporting community-based monitoring.
This spring was challenging to say the least, with uncertain times and many people having spent weeks or months in isolation. With all of this going on, we started thinking about doing something with Siku that could engage people and facilitate sharing stories across the north to stay connected. What we came up with was the Siku Goose Watch competition. The idea was that following the winter, everyone is keen to get out on the land, and knowing when the geese are getting close is important for many northerners as they prepare for the spring hunt. Siku is as much about sharing knowledge between communities as within, and knowing when the geese have reached neighboring communities is helpful. So for the contest, the first person in each community to post a goose hunting story won a prize. Their post was then automatically added to the Goose Watch map and newsfeed, so others could see it and help predict when the migration would reach their community. Not only did this help share knowledge between communities, along with some pretty great shots of kids getting their first geese, but it also allowed users to effectively crowdsource a record of the goose migration across the country, including the timing of migration, nesting, hatching, and other demographic data that provides a baseline for future years. Over 200 posts were made across 28 Inuit communities, from Akhovik to Tuktoyaktuk, and from Kujarapik to Resolute Bay. This provides a powerful demonstration of how Inuit working together with tools like Siku can contribute to environmental monitoring for migratory species and large-scale environmental processes. Needless to say, we will be doing the Goose Watch competition every year to help communities share knowledge and track the migration. Thanks to all of our participants. Congrats again to Trevor Dicker from Nain, our grand prize winner, and to all the other users who took part. Keep your eyes out for next spring's Goose Watch and other competitions like it on Siku.
When the world shut down in March 2020, airplanes were grounded and Southern researchers stayed home. But the seal didn't stop coming up for air. The Flow Edge maintained its perpetual motion, and with innovative technology by and for Inuit, community-driven projects in places like Sanikiluaq Nunavut were not only able to continue, but thrive. Hikite, the Belcher Islands Archipelago protected and conserved area, is being established by the community of Sanikiluaq in partnership with the Hikitani Inuit Association. Using Siku, the Indigenous Knowledge Social Network, local hunters, elders, and community members are gathering in-depth knowledge and observations during land use activities, crowdsourcing a resource inventory that will contribute to long-term stewardship of the region. Users maintained full access, ownership, and control over their data. Over 1,000 posts were made since January 2020 using the Siku mobile apps, setting new precedents for community engagement in research and monitoring. This success showcases Siku's ability to support and promote many kinds of unique community-driven projects. Let's talk about how we did it. Through training videos and local coaching, over 100 community members, including women, men, elders, and youth, were supported to use the Siku mobile apps. A small honoraria contributed to their ability to hunt and bring back food during the pandemic. For example, with Siku, the community documented the harvest of nearly 5,000 fish over the course of more than 500 separate fishing trips covering 25,000 kilometers. This documented the size of fish, presence of sticklebacks in their stomachs, and whether fish were from landlocked or sea-run populations. The case was similar for migratory birds, including geese and eiders, berries, invertebrates, and marine mammals like beluga and seals. Collectively, this contributed substantially to food security during the pandemic, provided full accountability of the funding, and equitable distribution across the community, while allowing project managers to quantify their impact and the contribution of the project to the development of local conservation economies. Siku supports the self-determination of Indigenous communities to run their own programs. Visit siku.org to learn about how Siku can power your community-driven project.
Through all these efforts combined, including our online workshops, we've been able to expand access to Siku since our launch. We even noticed some new users in communities where we didn't do workshops, showing us the effectiveness of social media, word of mouth, and cool new features like traditional place names on the Siku GPS.
We are always developing new, exciting features based on continued feedback from our community partners and broad network of Siku users. As of this fall, we now support videos and posts, and thanks to Makivik, the traditional Inuit place names for Nunavik are now here, along with the Nunavut ones from the Inuit Heritage Trust. We're particularly excited about our new sea ice information product for communities, based on Canadian Ice Service data and our previous ice roughness product. This map highlights where landfast ice is found, as well as the thinnest ice in a region as assessed by Canadian Ice Service analysts. In winter, where there is thick landfast ice, we also show surface roughness, which is an important factor for travel planning and fuel conservation. This example, from April 2020, shows ice conditions near Pond Inlet, with Tuvok landfast ice in contrasting colors to mobile ice types. Users can easily turn the landfast ice roughness layer on and off, shown here in purple. So what's next? Our biggest new feature will be a set of map tools soon to be released on the mobile apps. Siku app users will be able to access the full suite of satellite imagery and other products that are already available on the website, and they'll be able to download them on their phone to take offline while on the land. In addition to the new ice charts, new mobile maps will include several products that we'll tell you about soon. The update will also include a new interface and additional support for trips to make using the Siku GPS easier than ever, including compass, speed, distance, and other hunting trip features. We also have a bunch of other features and updates up our sleeve, including weather and climate change monitoring tools mobilizing Indigenous environmental terminology, tools to help hunters document their equipment and expenses, and tools to help mobilize the knowledge of Indigenous women and link things like seal products to seal hunting stories, connecting conservation economies in new ways. We're always keen to get your feedback or get you involved in helping develop new features, so please reach out to us if you hear something that sparks your interest.
Thank you, Becky, for giving us a sneak preview there. As always, we're interested in seeing if you would like to get involved, so if you have ideas for workshops, partners to connect with, or recommendations for features, please email us at info@siku.org and get the app at siku.org/download on iPhone or Android. You can set up an account and start exploring right away. Thank you.